Hi, today is October 6, 2023, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1605 for the year Saturn That Close. If Saturn were as close to the Earth as the moon is, I don't think I would ever get used to that shit. Don't get me wrong, I'm still not used to how fucking awesome the moon is, but imagine if people had walked on Saturn in 1969. I mean, fuck, those fucking rings. Oh shit, but those rings are made of ice and dust and rocks and shit. It would kind of suck if having Saturn where the moon is would mean we would be bombarded with ice and dust and rocks and shit all the fucking time. And maybe that is what having Saturn that close would mean. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Maybe I should have been a scientist. Poem number 1606, Scientist. Maybe I should have been a scientist like my dad. I imagine I would have been happier than if I had become, say, a special agent in charge of the Manhattan field office of the CIA like my biological father. If I had been a scientist, I wonder if I would be more religious than I am now. My dad was an organic chemist, and he was very religious. I wonder if I would still say I'm an atheist if I had been a scientist. Perhaps it would have depended on what kind of scientist I had become. I wonder if people who do quantum physics are more religious than other scientists and or other people. I'm sometimes good at wondering. Maybe I would have been good at science. I'm good at wondering, but I'm better at wandering. Poem number 1607, Wandering, Wondering. Wandering, wondering where I might be, where I might end up, what I might see. Wandering, wondering where I might go, what will I learn, what do I know. Wandering, wondering who I might meet, will I stop in the park or stick to the street. Wandering, wondering whether I should go far, enough that I might meet you where you are. Poem number 1608, Poetry in Motion, in 3 parts. Part 1. Most of the poems I have written in the past 2 days, including some of this one, have been written while I have been traveling on the subway. The MTA calls the poems that they post in the subway cars Poetry in Motion. There's one just over there called Morning Bell. I think I'll read it while I'm in motion. 2. I took a photograph of Iman Mirsai's poem as I was already past 66th Street with but 2 more stops to go. I mostly read it on the train and finished it before I got to the turnstile. And I read it again just now while sitting on the couch. And as it is with most poetry, I don't understand what makes it great. I read her Poetry in Motion, and then I read it stationary. And I think it's very good. I just don't understand what makes it great. 3. I wrote the next one in motion too, while walking on West End Avenue. I recorded it while speaking it into my phone on my way back home. I don't think I've ever written a poem like that before. I've thought about it, but I've never done it. And now, for what it's worth, I've done it. So let me transcribe it now, and let's see what I've done. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1609, For All the Fuck I Know. I believe the woman who I just passed by on 79th Street was missing half an arm. I didn't want to stare, but I think she was missing half an arm. I moaned softly, in sympathy, but what the fuck do I know? For all the fuck I know, she loves life even more than I do. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.